As you can see by this little drawing, I tossed my original sketch from the last video, but I used it to make this little drawing here as I was sitting watching TV. So I like this little figure a lot better than that original one, although this one has everything that the original one has. It's just a better looking little figure. So anyway, I blew it up and I put this on the in the gallery section. And from this, I made this profile of what we're going to do. And I made it very basic because I don't really know what I'm going to do because I've never carved a figure like this before. I've decided to go ahead and just count on attaching both arms. And this is made, let me get the measure out here. I think it's about 7 inches tall.
You could have left it laying down.
Could have left it laying down, she said. All right, it's 7 inches tall by 4 inches wide. So you'll be able to get this out of a 4-inch thick piece of basswood. Okay? Like I say, it's very basic. I did a little thumbnail sketch of just the side view, just to give me an idea what it looks like. Some of you said, oh, make sure you include a back view. Well, I'll tell you. I'm not in the business of making drawings for other people to do. I'll make drawings as much as I need to get the job done and maybe stretch it a little bit farther, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, you know, fleshing out the whole thing in a drawing because I don't really think that's necessary. I like to let things happen as they go along, and that's what we're going to do here because I really don't know where they're going. Okay? So let's just put that aside. I'm going to keep this thing. I went ahead and I cut out my block and knocked off the corners. So you can see there's some shape there, but not really enough to where I can see what the heck's going on with this thing. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to work on this area up in here and generally all over the place just to get the thing rounded out so I can get a feel of what the character looks like. I've gone ahead and I've drawn on the feet on the bottom so I can get rid of that without much trouble. But what I really want to do is just sort of block out the head areas up here just to see what's going on. I think as soon as we get this beard indicated, things will start to show up. Just taking that off gives you an idea that there's a head there. And the more that I take off, the more I can see that head. And I'll do the same thing back here. Another thing I like to do right off the bat is get rid of all the saw marks, because once those are gone, I can see what's going to go on there a lot better. Because those saw marks, as you can see from the carved wood and the sawn wood, they're just totally different. Now, what the heck is that?
Uh-oh.
Well, look at there, I nicked myself. Now, how the heck did I do that? The mysteries of wood carving. I have to go back and review the videotape to see how I whacked myself. This isn't a Helvy knife, this is a Helvy knife case. This is a knife that my good friend Jim out in California gave me. Still like to know how I nicked myself, that's screwy. Well, I have to take a break here and put a Band-Aid on my finger. Well, okay, I've gone and got me a Band-Aid. And I know I brag all the time that ever since I started wearing a carving glove and a thumb protector, I never cut myself. Well, the question is now, can I say that anymore? And the answer is yes, I can, because I didn't cut myself. What happened, as you can see right here, that little area right there, this has two little notches in it to hold the blade, and I like to move the blade as far forward as I can. So with this particular brand of blades, that little open area right there when I was carving evidently pinched my finger and cut it. So that don't count. So my record is still going on. As you can see by my gloves and my thumb protector here, I'm going to have to do something real quick because this thing has gone completely through. So I'll have to work on that, I guess. So anyway, I've gone ahead and I've cut out all the roughed out and sawn out parts. And another thing I want to mention, as you can see by this blank and by this drawing, I left a lot of slop or extra wood on here to mess with, because like I said, I'm not really sure, of how this thing's going to happen until it happens. So it's best to have that extra wood on hand if you're going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rough this all out, carve away and round the body out. Do the legs. I like these feet now. I normally start with the feet first, but on this case I just wanted to do this head up here just to see if I can get an idea about this figure. But now I think what I'm going to do now is go down here and get these feet roughed out. And when you're doing this, if at all possible, I like to carve down from the bottom sole of the feet and not do it this way, because when you're coming down this way, you can't really see where this chip is going to break off. So doing it from the bottom is a lot easier because you can see exactly where it's going. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now you might run into a problem as soon as you get down to that line right there. You might stop and think a while before you take off any more here. But as long as you're away from that point there, you'll be okay. Okay? So I'll go ahead and continue carving this off. I've gone around it and I've cleaned off all the saw stuff except underneath here. And right in these areas, you'll find an area right here, and here, and here on the side, to where it's hard to get your knife in there, especially this knife. You just can't get it in there. So I switch over to one of my longer bladed knives. This is a Lee Ferguson knife, good knife. And this will allow me to get in there to, clean those areas up. And the reason it's good not to get ahead of yourself and head for the details right off the bat, as you can see, when I'm carving up, I'm bouncing into that area up there, and that's a critical area for detail. So the last thing I want to do is to go ahead and carve my detail up there, only to goof it all up by finishing my rough out, which I should have done in the very beginning. So just take your time. I'm not doing anything now but making it round and getting rid of those saw marks so I can see what's going on. And that's the last one right there. So there, that looks a lot better than it did when we started. So now what I want to do, there's two areas here that we have to be careful of. Right in here and right in here. Because that's where we're going to attach our arms eventually. But right now we can take our drawing and let's just draw his belt buckle on about right there. Okay, and then just draw his belt, keep it good and thick. That's that. And then just draw it right on around the, so I'm using my little finger here as a guide to just put that on the bottom. And run that right around there, and that'll give me an even line. All the way around. It's kind of tricky out here in front where his foot comes in, but I should hit it okay. Now that's about what you want. See how this comes up? Like that? That's going to look good. That's a lot better than just having it straight across there. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Well, that doesn't look that great there, so let's go ahead and bring this down a little. And then run back into our other line. There we go. Now we've got our belt line on there. Let's just look at it for a bit. Find the center, which is right there. So our belt's a little off. That's all right, because I want to make it an oval anyway. There, now it's centered. Okay. So now we can go ahead and start bringing the bottom part in on each side, although you can't see it here. We can bring the bottom part of the body into the belt a little, and that'll make it look even better. That's kind of dropped kind of far there. going to redraw this, and I'm going to move it up to about right there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get rid of these lines and redraw that. All right, I've redrawn the lines, moved the buckle up a little. It looks a lot better now. So what we can do now is go ahead and do, like I said before, is we can outline these things. And this is one time which I go straight down into the wood. When you're doing this, be careful that you don't undercut what you're outlining. By that I mean, if anything, make your stroke leaning away from the article and certainly not into it like that, because if you do that, then you're going to end up with the outside edge splitting off, and you certainly don't want that. And if at all possible, keep the tip of that blade from digging into your detail there. So you want to go again, bouncing up into that head area. So there, we've got our buckle. Let's go ahead and carve off the pencil lines. Not sure how much time we've used up. I think I'm going to show you, outline the buckle just a little, and that'll probably be about it. There, we got that buckle on there. And now we're just going to take our knife and eventually go all the way around here, but I'll just do it here in the beginning. Just show you where I'm going. There you can see the belt now. We'll work on this area a lot more, to get that roundness of the body and the upper part coming down over the belt. Because this guy, he enjoyed eating, and we certainly want to indicate that on our carving. So I'll go ahead and finish this belt out, and in the next video we'll see what direction we go from there. So until then, I'll talk to you later.